Greetings and welcome back. So today I'm going to do a half-year wrap-up since I haven't actually done any monthly wrap-ups so far, since I was still trying to work out exactly what sort of channel I want it to be, and now that I've sort of settled on mainly booktube with like, let's say 25% authortube, because I'm still going to be doing videos about my writing journey, but it's mostly going to be talking about books. Because for my channel I really just want to talk to people about books and things like that. So with focusing on more booktube videos, I decided I would do a half-year wrap-up and talk about the books I've read so far this year. Now that we're in July, I figured that was a good point to start, and now every month I'll also be doing a monthly wrap-up. But to start, since I didn't really do it for the last 6 months, we're going to do a half-year wrap-up. So far this year, what I've read at the beginning of the year, since it was a book I got for Christmas, in my stocking actually, was An Heiresse's Guide to Deception and Desire. And that was actually a really cute historical novel. It was a little bit of a mystery. It was a lot of fun. The characters were good. They were pretty well developed. The mystery was a fun storyline. I usually don't go for historical fictions as much, they just don't catch my eye, but this was actually a really fun read and a really well-written story, so I really enjoyed it. I would recommend An Heiresse's Guide to Deception and Desire. I think there's other books in the series or similar by the same author. It was very well written and I enjoyed it, and that was first one of the year since I got that for Christmas. And I read Mickey Chambers' Shakes It Up, which was a romance novel. It was sort of a grumpy sunshine romance novel, but I didn't like it so much. They didn't develop the characters or the relationship very well. They kind of just went, they're in love because they're in love, rather than like showing us why they were in love. They kind of just told us they were in love, which I didn't think was very good writing. And it was cute enough. The characters were fun, but I just felt like the romance aspect wasn't developed very well. So that one was a little disappointing, but I did actually finish it, and it was fine. Next was one I've talked about previously on the channel. This was in my top 5 LGBTQ plus books, it was also my blind date with the book. The Cash Delgado is Living the Dream, which was very good, and I talk about it more in that top 5 book video. And another one on that list was also The Heartbreak Bakery, which was so cute. So if you want to hear more about those two, I go more into detail in that video. Then after that, early in the year, I bought a couple of romance novels that I found, and I read 2 out of the 3 of them. So I read Under Lock and Key, which was actually very cute. I thought it was going to be way sillier than it turned out to be, because it's a little bit of a monster romance or something like that, because it does say this on the back cover, so I don't think it's too much of a spoiler, but the main guy ends up turning into the Loch Ness Monster every night, so that's part of the romance thing. And I talked about this in my top 5 romance novels, so if you want to hear more about that, you can check out that video. So then I read Truth and Beard, which was a cute romance novel. It was a little bit of a mistaken identity, because there's these 2 twins and our main character is in love with one twin, but she ends up falling for the other twin. It was cute. It was nothing special, but it was cute. And then actually during the time where I was simultaneously reading 5 books at once and not finishing them, I, at the same time, ended up rereading the Well Met series, which is a series of romance novels set in and around Renaissance fairs, which is so much fun. And I actually read those a while back, but I kind of wanted to revisit them. At the time, I just needed something fun and cute that I knew, so I reread those, and they're really fun. I might do a whole separate video on that. I really like the Renaissance theme of these books, and they're really fun, so I definitely want to do a video just talking about them at some point. I might do that more in the fall. And then from the 5 books that I was simultaneously reading and failed to finish, I finished The Thursday Murder Club, How to Find Love in a Bookshop, This Is How It Always Is, and Thief of Time. So I did the 4 out of 5 that I was trying to. I did put aside the Any Trope But You, but I'll probably finish that this month, but I'll talk about that later. So the Thursday Murder Club was really fun. It was, like I said, it's a cozy murder mystery, so I feel like the murder mystery was just was secondary to the characters and the character development, which I actually really liked. Since it was a cozy mystery, like the mystery didn't have to be too intense, but it definitely gave the characters a motivation and something to do and drove the plot. But I'm glad that the characters and their development was kind of center stage for the book, and so it's really good. So I think there's actually going to be a Netflix film adaptation of the book, so I'm kind of excited to see that. It sounds like it has a good cast. I know David Tennant's in it, I don't know what part he plays yet, and Pierce Brosnan is going to be one of the main group. Again, I haven't really looked it up, I at least saw that, like, oh, these people are going to be in it, and it looks like it should be good. So I may check it out when it comes out. And I read How to Find Love in a Bookshop, which was very good. It was a really good sort of character development story, because we have the main character, she's dealing with the grief from the death of her father, and then dealing with trying to keep the bookshop going, and it was nice in that it had a big cast of characters, and you got to see perspectives from a lot of different characters, so it had perspective hopping, and it was just kind of nice to see how all the different characters related to the bookshop and each other, and it was just a really good, well-written book. And then I read This Is How It Always Is, which was very good. It was very well written. I felt it really captured the feeling and dynamics very well, and then it ended very uplifting, so I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend. And then I finally finished The Thief of Time. I actually went back and restarted it because I had gotten about a third of the way through, but then had gotten so far from it that I wanted to restart it so that I knew, that way I would know everything that was going on, because it had been so long I couldn't really remember what I had already read. So I restarted it, finished it, and there will actually be a review next week, but I'll go more into that later in the video. And then the last book I read this year so far was Jobs for Girls with Artistic Flair, which is actually by a local author, Jen DeLuca. And I actually met her at the Mosaic Festival in Riverhead recently, and she was there signing copies of her book, so we went down, I got a copy of her book, she signed it for me, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm also going to do a review of that book as well. But that brings me to my book haul for the year. So I bought quite a few books this year. Most of them came from one day where we went out to Huntington, and I got a little carried away, and so bought quite a few books. As you may have noticed, I have a second bookshelf, and all of the ones on the top shelf are new ones. I actually record my videos a little bit out of order. This is one of the last ones I'm recording for July, because I wanted to get sort of closer to the end of June so I could do a full recap of everything I read and everything. But so there'll be a couple of videos coming up that have the second bookcase in it, and others that are my more traditional framing, which is the one bookcase. But in about 2 weeks, the video with me picking out my next read from my TBR list goes deeper into my second bookcase, and I have a short clip of me organizing it all. Something to look forward to. So before I get to my big book haul, I'll go through a couple that I picked up throughout the year. Like I said in one of my previous videos, I got Any Trope But You from A Book Place Boutique. So I got that one along with Accidentally Amy, so I'll be reading those. At some point I will be finishing up Any Trope But You in July, hopefully. And then for my birthday, I had a gift card to Barnes & Noble, and from there I picked up Terry Pratchett's Wyrd Sisters and Mort. So I'm excited to read these. I think my next Terry Pratchett will be Wyrd Sisters, because that was the one I took a quiz to see which to start with, and I got Wyrd Sisters, so I'm very excited. And I'm excited to get into the Witches series in Discworld, so that should be fun. So as I talked about in my bookshop video, I got the Doctor Who book, the Emily Wilde book, and An Absolutely Remarkable Thing from those 3 bookstores. So that was another bit of book haul. And then from a book nook in Wading River, I actually picked up my friend Virginia Mary's Across the Great Ocean, which I'm so excited to read. I met her in Silent Book Club, and she told me about her book. It's a YA dystopian fantasy novel, and it just sounded absolutely amazing, so I'm excited to read that. She actually has 2 books out now and is currently working on the 3rd, so I would recommend everybody go check her out. And then 2 other times I went to Global Language Reads in Port Jeff. I got How to Stop Time, which looked really good. Sort of a time travel romance novel. Looked good. And then The Cat Who Saved the Library. Looked really good. And then I have the giant haul from going to Huntington, so let me get those. So to start, we went to Savers, and I found 2 books there. I actually found the One Less Stop that I said I really wanted to get a copy of this, so I picked that up. I was very excited. And then I found it was the Terry Pratchett Thud that I think it's part of the Guards series, which looks good, but I saw there was a Terry Pratchett at Savers. I'm like, I need that. Who donated a Terry Pratchett? I need to save it from from the thrift store. So I got those. And then we went to the dog-eared Bard's Bookshop in East Northport, which was so cute. It's this little used bookshop, used antiquarian and independent books. So from there I got Twilight Land, which looks like a series of sort of twisted fairy tales. It just looked really fun. So that should be good. And then I found this really interesting murder mystery called Bookmark to Die, and it sounded fun, so I picked that up as well. And then we ended up going to the next chapter in Huntington, which is an amazing bookstore. I think I'm gonna do another bookshop video and highlight it in that video, but it's amazing. If you're in the area, definitely go check it out. It looks tiny from the front, but it just keeps going back, and it's just got amazing books. So from there, my husband got 3 books. We got this set of short stories, American Gods, which was one that he wanted to check out, but I'm pretty sure next chapter is mostly used books, so we felt a little bit better about buying it used rather than direct. And then he found this pulp fiction novel, The Brass Chills. So those looked really good. So those are for my husband. And then for me, I picked up Hitchhiker's Guide, because that's always fun. But I've seen the movie, but I haven't actually ever read Hitchhiker's Guide, so I needed a copy to read. So I got that. And then I saw this. This is actually a memoir. I'm not usually drawn to memoirs, but this was about New Orleans, and it sounded like it centered a lot around the food and stuff in New Orleans, so it sounded really good. So I picked that up. And then I picked up All Fours, which I actually have to blame Jack Edwards for recommending. I watched one of his videos and he recommended All Fours, so I was like, I'm gonna pick it up. But it's it's been a struggle watching a lot more BookTube and getting a lot more recommendations. I now keep picking up more books than I originally had in my radar, now that I'm getting way more book recommendations. And then this was one that I saw a few places and I'm so excited to read. Convenience Store Woman sounded amazing, so I'm definitely going to have to read that this month, and I'm excited to try that out. So it sounds a little unique and fun and a really good storyline, so that was fun. So those are from the next chapter in Huntington. And then actually ended up at the Huntington Library, and they had a little section that was a book sale, so I bought a few more books there. So all in all, that day, bought a total of 17 books. So that was the Savers, the dog-eared books, next chapter, and then the library book sale. Ended up buying 17 books. So then from the library book sale, I got Lady Chatterley's Lover, because that just looked good. I've always wanted to read it for some reason. I kind of just went on vibes with this one, because they were $1 or $2 at the library, so I wanted to just grab random books that I might not usually pick up. But I got The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, because it sounded fun. It sounded like a cute romance novel, so I thought that would be fun. And then Forgotten City looked really interesting, and I just kind of like this cover, and it sounded like a good book, but the Bandit Queens sounded really cool. And then Starboard Murphy and the World Outside looked really good. And Rebecca, because I heard it was good. I don't really know, but I'm like, let me try it out. If I don't like it, it'll go into my little library. But yeah, so that was my book haul for this year. So I'm gonna try to get myself to read all of those, because again, I sort of invested in too many. I went a little nuts with some books, so I want them to kind of count as okay, if you're gonna buy new books, you have to read them. So we'll see how well that goes. I'm gonna try to read all of those. I think in total it was 22 books. See if I can get them all read by the end of the year. So we'll see how that goes and keep you updated with my monthly wrap-ups like this. So at some point in the next 6 months, I'm hoping to read all of those books, because I bought them all. I better read them all. I gotta stop just collecting books. Not that that's a bad thing, but for me, part of this channel is I want it to encourage me to read more books, and that way I can tell all of you about all these books. So hoping to get that done, so we'll see how well that goes. For the next month, for July, I'm hoping to read, like I said, I'm gonna finish up Any Trope But You, because that was really cute. I just kind of put it to the side until I finished the other books I was reading, so now I can get into that. I'm currently reading We Came, We Saw, We Left by Charles Whelan, which is a memoir, and I'm actually reading that for a book club. So it's a memoir about the family goes on a gap year traveling across the world, so it sounded really interesting. So probably wouldn't have normally picked it up, but it was kind of nice to have a different book that I wouldn't normally go towards to have to read for a book club. I might not end up finishing it. It depends how quickly I can read it and how much it keeps my attention, but for the book club it won't be too bad. They're not too strict. It's more just getting together and talking about books and talking about the themes in it. It's not doesn't sound like they do, book reports or anything in the meeting, so it's more just people who like books coming together, which sounds really fun. With those, I will also have, like I said, my TBR pick, which that video will be coming out on July 18th, so whatever that one happens to be, that'll be on my list for this month to read. And then, like I said, I'm going to read Wyrd Sisters for my next Discworld book, and I'll have a review on that one as well. And then I'm so excited to read Convenience Store Woman. It looks amazing, so I'm going to have that for this month. And then I really want to read Across the Great Ocean, because I've been meaning to. I just wanted to get sort of that big pile of I'm in the middle of a bunch of things out of the way before I really focused in on it, gave it my full attention, because I didn't want to be half reading it like I was everything else. Hopefully I can get through those, and we'll see if I can squeeze in any more in the month of July. I'll let you know in my July wrap-up next month. But on that note, for having the wrap-ups and everything, I have a couple new plans for the channel. Since I've sort of focused in on really doing booktube videos, along with a few writing videos, mostly just my vlog about my writing journey. But since I'm focusing more on the booktube, as always, there'll be a video every Friday that'll be booktube themed, something like my favorite books, recommendations, things of that nature. But I'm also going to be adding videos every Tuesday, and of that will be book reviews, like I said, and I'll be doing 2 book reviews a month, and one of those will be a Discworld book. Because I figured that way it helps motivate me getting through the Discworld books, because I was kind of getting almost intimidated, but more like, I'm so excited for this, I want to wait till I have my full attention to read it. But if I have it as a goal for every month to read one of the Discworld books, I think that'll be a good motivator. And then I can do a review for all of you, and you can hear about it and get to know more about the Discworld series. So I'll be doing a Discworld, and then any other book that I feel like I want to do a review of this book and tell everybody about it in detail. So there'll be 2 book reviews every month. It'll probably be every other week for a book review. And then between that, I'll have my writing vlog about where I am on my writing journey, and then possibly a video about a writing exercise or something of that sort. But that might change depending on how well those go. If those videos do well, or if there's something else I want to try out, I might switch that out for something else. But that's the basic idea so far. So now it'll be 2 videos a week, every Tuesday and Friday. Look forward to that, and make sure to subscribe to stick around for all those videos coming up. And if you've been enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like and help with the algorithm. Thank you. And on that topic, if there's any sort of content you would like to see, if there's any more types of videos you would like me to do, just leave a note down in the comment and I'll see what I can do. Since focusing more on booktube, I'm sort of working out, experimenting, seeing what videos do the best, what people are enjoying the most. So I want to make sure to make the kind of content that everybody will like. So if there's anything specific, any type of content I haven't thought about yet, let me know down in the comments what kind of booktube content you enjoy, and I'll see if I can start making videos like that. It's been so nice being part of the booktube community, and so it's just been nice being able to talk about books and being part of that community and getting to discuss books with everybody. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day.